change of pace.
All right. Welcome to the Change of Pace podcast. On this episode, we're going to be going over game two of the Western Conference Finals and game one of the Eastern Conference Finals. Game two just wrapped up for Thunder Spurs. Thunder pull it out. A few injuries we have to discuss. I think we can just start off with Shea's performance and Isaiah Hartenstein kind of taking the Wemby assignment very personally. Honestly, on both ends, he was pretty phenomenal. Offensive rebounding, obviously, and kind of fronting Wemby. I think Wemby, like maybe half the shot attempts, maybe not half, but like significantly less shot attempts. It felt like this game only had 21 points, I think. Sai, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think the story of the game was Isaiah Hartenstein, what he was able to do. Like, you're going to see a lot of clips from holding, which he did. But at this point, the playoffs, you got to be physical. You got to take the advantages you can get. You got to play with what the refs give you. And that's what they were able to do. Wemby, again, freak of nature, but Chet's not enough for this matchup. Alex Caruso can have his moments. J-Dub can have his moments. He was out for the most of this game, and he will probably be out for a while. But at the end of the day, you need some strength. Offensive rebounds were a huge problem in game one. And the fact, like you saw his shot chart from game one, it was like all this he scored entirely in the paint, and then that 131 footer to tie the game in overtime. Like you need someone who can push him out of the paint. You need someone who can, on the offensive end, like push him out of the paint even more, just so you can create driving lanes for other guys, which I think was helpful. And then you need a screener because I felt like that was a problem. Shea was not able to get open last game at all. Like he was getting crowded really easily, and I heard screening was very helpful in that case. So I think like it's very strange how the playoffs go and how smart and dumb like people you see on Twitter are. It's like everyone was like, okay, iHeart's played out of this series. It's over for him. And then he's maybe the most important player the next game. So it's pretty crazy how the tides turn, how like smart NBA coaches, they think way like they know the game way better than us. They see the game way better than us. And they can tell where a game is going. And it definitely seemed like from the start, iHeart was making his impact felt. And then he really closed out the game. Like Shea was missed like 8 straight shots in the fourth quarter. And it felt like 5 or 6 of them just offensive rebounds we were able to keep the possession alive. And even though we didn't capitalize on a lot of them, could have pulled the game away a lot earlier. Because of iHeart's offensive rebounds, it really, got the clock down, allowed us to get to the point of, Shea having to get that one shot to close this out. And then the game eventually ended. But yeah, I mean, the real story probably is the injuries. Dylan Harper, J-Dub, AJ Mitchell. We'll see about AJ Mitchell, but it seems like Dylan Harper has a calf strain. Not confirmed, but that's just what I've seen from a couple people on Twitter. And then obviously, J-Dub's been having lingering hamstring issues. So we'll see how it goes. This really changes direction of the series. And then again, Fox is already injured. He was out games one and two. Hopefully, he'll be back for game three. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at this point they have to rush Fox back if Dylan Harper is going to be out. So you don't really have much of a choice. I'm sure he could have played game two if necessary, but they were kind of riding the high of Dylan Harper's game one. So seems kind
Absolutely.
yeah. Sahil, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely the story is Hartenstein. I think the fact that in game one, I feel like he wasn't setting that many Gortat screens. He wasn't clearing out the lane for Shea, for J-Dub, for their guys to get in the paint, and you didn't really see that much in terms of them getting to the rim. But a lot of those like 6 to 10 foot shots felt way more open. They were 20 of 39 on mid-range shots today.
Wow.
In game one, they were 8 of 28. Right. So they were just like it felt more open because Isaiah was kind of clearing out Wemby. And that's kind of what you have to do if he's going to be 7-4 and he's going to stand right under the rim. Their entire defense is predicated on everybody else rotating. All four guys are rotating around the perimeter while Wemby just cleans up anything in the paint. And it's impossible to deal with unless you get a big guy like Isaiah to kind of just clear him out. So I like the game plan. I like that they went even down the stretch, seeing them bench Chet for Isaiah Hartenstein was kind of crazy. You kind of just have to do it in this matchup. He's like a physical guy. He probably should have fouled out like in the third quarter at some point just because like he was hacking the shit out of him. The fact that they had to waste a challenge pretty early in the game on a BS call was pretty bad from the refs. But I thought it was honestly officiated fine. I mean, um, OKC is in general. Shea's gonna manipulate the officials as much as he can. He's gonna fall in a lot of his jumpers. Like that's just what they're gonna do. But the Spurs are physical as hell too. Castle's physical as hell. 11 turnovers again, or was it nine today?
It
Nine
was
today,
nine, I
yeah.
think. Yeah. He
9
11
had
last
today.
11 in
game.
the first game, though. He's averaging 10.
Yes, so that's the most through what a 2 game span, I think. And it's funny because like he makes these plays that are just like holy shit, he's gonna be so good. But it's clear Castle is still so raw. Like there's just like he can't be the main ball handler in an offense, and you felt it in the fourth when
Yep.
Harper wasn't out there either, and they're running like there's pin downs for Vassell, but he can't really handle the ball either, and just like there's like I mean the Spurs were felt like they were pretty dominated through this game, but they're
Yeah.
probably a couple dumb Castle passes away from like this being like going to OT or something. So, very interesting game, and it's going to be a long series, especially with these injuries. I don't even know what to make of Dub and even AJ. I don't know.
Yeah, I think Harper is so important to that team and like the Fox injury as well. Like the turnovers are going to kill this team. And it's unfortunate. Like 21 turnovers to 9 for the OKC Thunder. Like Shea was very patient today. He had one turnover today. It was an offensive foul at the end of the game. Like that was and 9 assists. Really efficient with the ball. Like Castle, he had to put his head down for a lot of this game, but
Mhm.
just. Every time he's in the paint, he's very loose with his handle. Very Cade Cunningham-esque in the first couple of games of that Magic series where he gets into the paint, doesn't exactly know what to do. The big's there, he's kind of in his way. Wemby's kind of getting sealed off somewhere else, and he has no outlet. He's stuck, and then AJ Mitchell or Casey Wallace just gonna poke the ball out of his hands, especially while he's driving. He's very out of control. And then there was some also boneheaded plays. Like I think looking back at the backcourt, he did bounce the ball like right at the line, and I think that was probably why the backcourt was called. Very close call, but also just that turnover at the end of the game, just miscommunication. Like you can't afford these, especially when you're the lead guard. They had to deploy Jordan McLaughlin for 7 minutes of the game. Like they had really no ball handling options. But yeah, it's really just a lot of forwards on this team. Vassell, unfortunately, just like a complete off-ball player, and he's an amazing shooter, like 22 points, 6 of 12 from three. Every shot I felt like it was going down just because he gets so high.
Threes, bro. Like, those corner threes are killer. My
Yeah,
God.
he doesn't see a contest, it feels like, no matter who's really
Jumps
under him.
so
So
hard.
high. Yeah.
Just an
Honestly, to
insanely
me,
good
I feel
shot.
like the series is just going to come down to the turnover battle because, like,
Mhm.
OKC in general is probably going to struggle in the half court. But if they can get easy buckets in transition, that'll loosen things up. And then on the other end, the Spurs, because they have Castle and hopefully Harper, they can just kind of overpower these guys like AJ, like Kaysen. Even though they like the ball pressure will be there, but in terms of getting 2 feet in the paint, like they can do that pretty much at will. And so it's really going to come down to the to how much can the Spurs slow the game down and not turn the ball over, and they're going to need Fox for that.
Yeah, I think another part of the this matchup is how loose Wemby was in that game one, right? Like you felt like he was in the paint no matter what. Just because of the lack of shooters that OKC has, and even Caruso, who they're putting a lot on, was just incredible in that game one. He shot what 8 for 12 from three or something like that. Like that's not going to happen again. But at the same time, the fact that Isaiah Hartenstein was like able to push him out of the paint, like you have to make him not just completely dominate that area. And it just like once you can loosen it up, once you can give confidence to these players early on that they can actually, go into the paint, they can cut harder without having to just worry about Wemby. There's a lot of plays I really liked. One where Alex Caruso, faked the cut. Wemby's gonna pretend like he wants to hand off so he can stay around the basket. Caruso just never cuts back. He cuts back to three, hits a three. Like there are a lot of plays like that where I felt like we got a lot of open shots. And I was really like about halftime of this game. I thought we were, this was a really tough game. Like even though we were up 11, there were so many game moments that when Shea was on the floor that we could have just like completely taken control of the game because the Spurs were missing a lot of shots. Castle just kept handing us the ball, and even though we were able to capitalize a lot more than we did last game off turnovers, like I think I saw a stat like 32% of our turnovers by the Spurs we were able to capitalize on last game. This
Wow.
time is 69%, so a lot better. But it did feel like there was a lot of these moments where we could have just hit some shots, like hit some threes. Isaiah Joe had a lot of clean looks. He was 0 for 2. Jared McCain had a big moments in the fourth, but he was 1 for 8 at a point from three.
Yeah.
And like a lot of these threes that just kept missing, like that could have really broken open the game. And then it allowed Wemby to be more aggressive in the third quarter. He was excellent in that quarter, just getting downhill. Yeah, I think I'm kind of confused, like why they stopped. It feel like they were running pick and roll with Wemby as much this game at all. And I was kind of
Yeah.
confused why they headed in that direction. Like Wemby was, I think Zach Lowe said, like there's a stat that Wemby screened per minute the most in game one that he's ever done. And that was really successful. Like obviously the Spurs offense wasn't incredible by any means in that game one. It was enough to get the win, but Wemby himself was able to be around the basket just constantly because he was screening and then just releasing downhill. And even if it wasn't like off the lob, but which it was a couple times, he was just able to be there for so many offensive rebounds. I think Hartenstein was a part of that, but also I just felt like they went away from it and they were kind of leaning towards him initiating from the three-point line, which to me is like an indication of just not like the mental focus wasn't there from Wemby. I felt like he was kind of leaning back into his bad tendencies.
Yeah.
Where game one he was super focused and kind of like I know how I can dominate this team specifically and a lot of teams just by being the best big man in the league, the best rolling threat in the league, creating gravity for so many other players. And also I'm just the tallest guy in the building, can grab every rebound. So I was a little confused by that. But overall, I mean the Spurs team is amazing. Either of this team, it'll be tough because it's like every game is like a heavyweight punch. Like someone's losing their teeth, someone losing a player. Um, it's who knows if either team is going to really just scrape out of the series alive enough to beat whoever comes out of the East. But it's it's crazy. This is one of the best series. Like it's living up to the hype so far, especially that game one was just incredible.
I was
I think
listening to go for it, Ron.
No, I was gonna say the whole Wemby thing, like I feel like they didn't go to him enough in the third when he was on that. Like it felt like he scored 11 of the 13 points. He was hitting some crazy threes. He had like that miss, like that dunk off the miss shot, and then he had a block on the other end right after. Like feels like that was when they could fully take control of the game. They had tied it up like at 66 or 69. And then Stephon Castle had some dumb turnovers. Then some other guys would take some stupid shots. And I don't know. It felt like you have to go more to him. I'm seeing a stat here. He only had I think he touched the ball like 10 times in the first half of the game, or he had like which is kind of a ridiculous number. Like they should be running the offense primarily through him.
Mhm.
Like you said, through the pick and roll. And in those 10 touches, they went 3 of 5 from the field. So I don't know. It feels like they should be playing through him more. Like I said, he shot 25 times in game one, only 16, I think, in game two. And yeah, 7 threes versus the 2 he attempted in game one. It kind of just shows he's getting tired. Ihart's physicality, whether it's fouling or not, it's wearing him down. And you can see it on the defensive end too. Isaiah Hartenstein got some timely offensive rebounds in that fourth quarter that kind of sealed the game, even though Shea was missing missing the shots after each of those rebounds. So yeah, like, sorry, go ahead.
No, no, I was gonna say pretty much the same thing about the wear and tear that Isaiah Hartenstein's putting on Wemby, and it affecting his offensive game. I do think that there's ways to attack it. I think that one is I want to see him post up more. I think that there's ways that he can either play Hartenstein out of the game, um, through either pick and roll or getting him in foul trouble. And he had one like spin layup on a post up against Hartenstein in the fourth quarter. I think you can go to more of that rather than play that face up game that he is comfortable with. And even if like catching at the elbow or somewhere within 6 to 8 feet and then face up, like that's okay too. But start the play a little deeper in the paint and to put pressure on the rim. Then you can spray out for open threes. It just felt like a lot of it was like they weren't running pick and roll and they were just throwing it to him on the wing and being like, okay, can
That's
you
the
go
point.
create
That's
something?
like how you beat him. Like, because we've seen even in the regular season when the Suns had that huge victory versus Wemby in like the fifth game of the season, like you're playing him from so far away. Like you're starting to guard him in his face with like 20 feet away with someone who's like, I mean, Isaiah Hartenstein's huge. Generally, it'd be someone like 6'9" who has like a lower center of gravity, but is very strong. So you kind of keep him out of the paint, and he isn't strong enough to really deal with it. He's forced to like shoot over you, and he definitely doesn't want to post up from all the way back there. But yeah, I think like if they're gonna play you one-on-one with Isaiah Hartenstein, just go at him. He had even the third quarter, he started off his run, like his first shot attempt in the third quarter was like a post-up fadeaway over Isaiah Hartenstein, and that's when he started. He hit a three right after that. He might have hit another three after that. So that's how he started going. If they're not gonna send a double, you would take that matchup 10 times out of 10 if it's just
Yeah.
Wemby straight up versus Isaiah Hartenstein. They were forced to bring a Chet double on that fadeaway, and he still made it in that first shot of the third quarter. And if not, we've seen him very willing to pass out of the double team and create for people near the rim. So I don't see why they wouldn't. Like I don't know why they're scared. Even in the regular season, a big like kind of flaw with the Spurs has been that they're hesitant to consistently go to MB every possession. I don't see the point in not when we're seeing it's working, and especially worked in game one. So
Have they run much inverted pick and roll for Wemby? I feel like I can't remember them doing it that
I
much.
feel like he brought the ball up a lot, but I don't
Yeah.
remember him. them ever doing
I
a
feel like they did a couple times, just trying to get Castle screening for Wemby up at the top of the key. But even then, I'm not a big fan because like Castle's not a shooter you're worried about.
Yeah.
Maybe they've run it with Champagne as well, but he was really off this game, 1 for 7 from three. At that point, like I don't like Wemby's probably gonna settle if you kind of jam him there. I don't think he's like his handle's that good enough to like where he's like able to keep it at a blitz. So I feel like I agree with Sal with like you just run the post up game and the face up game a lot more, especially the face up game.
Yeah.
Like he's very terrifying in that area. And
And just get him on the roll. Like his roll gravity is insane, and that's how
yeah.
they shot the most corner threes ever. Like because you have to commit basically two people to the roll. I was listening to Jason Timm's podcast, like his reaction after the game, and he said a potential adjustment would be putting Wemby on defensively on a guy like Lou Dort to start the game, just so that you can kind of save some wear and tear off of Wemby's body, and you'll probably end up matching up with Hartenstein anyway as the possession goes along because it will put your defense into rotation, but that's something that you kind of have to accept. And just to save a little bit of wear and tear on Wemby's body, I thought that was interesting. That's something that they could do.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's probably what they do in like a lot of the plays when Chet's not on the floor and not iHeart.
Mhm.
Because Chet's like a lot more like just he's more of a spot up shooter and he can actually make a lot more shots than Dort can. Yeah, I think that might be the move actually, probably adjustment they made because what Shea was able to get a little more loose this game with just having iHeart screen for him. Making iHeart be physical while someone else screens for him and he just kind of splits the doubles. Like, I also felt like the Spurs defense was just not as aggressive as it was
yeah.
this game than it was last game. And I think it definitely hurt them. Like they had possessions where they were really aggressive and I felt like it worked. For a lot of the time it really like dribbled, it really decreased the shot clock, especially like it made them start really late into the shot clock while Shea was just like looking for a matchup or trying to get out of the double. And I feel like that's kind of the way to slow the offense down. And even when you're losing the transition battle, like that's probably what you have to do.
I have a question, guys. How is Jared McCain on the Thunder? Because I'm still confused.
Dude, he hit some big shots today.
Did
He
he
did.
got what I liked about him, dude, he was the second shot taker. Like he was shooting and
Yeah.
he got a lot of open looks. He didn't make a lot of them. It was 4 for 14 at the end of the day. And I think he got fouled on a lot of drives, but that he missed. But yeah, like the fact that he's willing to shoot, like I feel like a lot of players on the Thunder, like Cason Wallace or Lou Dort, like they just kind of get nervous at that 3 point line, and they're not really, they don't drive. AJ Mitchell even like he shot 8 times, like he was a really aggressive shooter in the last couple series, but this series where Wemby's near the basket, he's like kind of getting scared to go downhill. Like Jared McCain's kind of fearless in this matchup, and I've really enjoyed his production. Like I think he's been kind of important and definitely like his outplayed Isaiah Joe in the start like that in that bench shooter role.
Yeah, the role players came into play. Casey Wallace went 4 of 6 from three, too. And then Alex Caruso obviously had some big shots in the third quarter, especially when Wemby was making that run. Alex Caruso had some like two big threes.
Yep.
And then Jared McCain timely buckets in the fourth as well. So yeah, role players came into play today, despite J-Dub not being there.
With Wemby on and without Isaiah Hartenstein on the floor, the Spurs offense rating was 152.
Damn.
With
Wow.
with Isaiah on, it was 113.
Wow.
Yeah, he was making a
Yeah.
huge difference.
That's so tough. Wow. Yeah. I don't know. The thing you guys are saying about Wemby guarding like Lou Dort, or like that's basically, I mean, it kind of goes hand in hand with the fact that the Spurs defense didn't feel as aggressive. It felt like the double teams on Shea weren't as aggressive as they were in the first game. And that might have had to do with Isaiah Hartenstein getting loose offensively. But yeah, I feel like you kind of live with Alex Caruso and Lou Dort getting those threes, especially when you go back to San Antonio. Like I would totally expect them to go but very, very hard on that the way they did in game one, with Wemby essentially just leaving the shooters open and like being like roaming when Shea is on a drive or like yeah, going one on one. Yeah, I think that's like the easiest way to turn them into Tony Allen type of thing. So yeah.
That Castle dunk,
Oh my God.
my
Yeah.
God,
That was such
Insane.
a clean dunk, bro. He has two crazy dunks now. In the thing.
Yeah, he
it just
dunked on
went.
Shea last game too, right? Like
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He
this
did.
one was crazier though.
This
This
is
was
right
straight
over.
up over iHeart. Off
Perfect.
2 legs, it literally feels like he's jumping off a
Like a
trampoline. It's
2K
insane.
animation, bro. It was
No, for real,
perfect.
yeah.
It was so easy. Like, how do you do it that easily?
we give Reggie Miller, like I give Reggie Miller a lot of shit. I think he has his terrible moments,
Yeah.
but I love the fact that he like saw, or maybe it was Jamal. I don't know who it was exactly, but before Castle jumped, they saw it coming. They're like, uh-oh, and then they called it uh-oh on the dunk. It was a very, very good call.
Yeah, I think I was gonna say another thing I think OKC did well was dissecting the zone. I felt the zone was a lot of what gave Shea trouble in the fourth quarter of last game, and it was kind of look like they put Alex Caruso in the middle. He just like made plays, and I felt like even though like Chet wasn't great this game, probably not gonna be great this series. It just doesn't feel like he's a guy who can really succeed in this type of environment with a great rim protector who's kind of dominating him there, and also these like smaller wings who can guard him. Basically the Wemby uh match the defensive matchup, but like I thought the fact that he's able to be in that dunker spot and just have this like huge roll gravity himself has been really impactful as well. Uh the Thunder are just an incredibly deep team. And that's paying off at this point. Like with Fox, with Castle, with Harper out at the end of that game, like that's really just what won them the game at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right about the dissecting the zone better. Every single player in the Spurs starting lineup last game had a steal. We saw Dylan Harper had like tied Kawhi's record with 7 steals for a rookie. These guys had like 4 combined steals for the entire game this game, and it has a lot to do. Like it felt like it was very predictable offense. Like Dylan Harper's in the passing lane every single time. He saw like the corner passes coming every time Shea was doubled. So now you have Alex Caruso, a secondary playmaker, making the right reads. So they definitely like did something there.
The bench is just like Cornette. When Cornette's out there, that means Wemby's not, and you're gonna lose those minutes. Carter Bryant just doesn't have any offensive juice. Good defender, but
I
he
do
made,
like him defensively
I do
though.
too. But he made a couple mistakes. He had to turn over. McLaughlin's too small. He had two threes, but I mean,
Two threes, bro, but a minus
it's just
10.
it's just too easy for Shea to shoot over him, and then Harrison Barnes, like, I mean,
Dude,
you can't be
bro,
wrong on
he's a
that.
skeleton, bro. You know what? Julian Champagny being a plus 11 in a 9-point loss is impressive.
Mm.
Like that starting lineup, I mean, yeah, Wemby, Harper, and Champagny all positives. I
If
think
Harper's actually hurt, man, I mean
that's terrible.
Yeah, it's really
kills their
bad.
chances. I mean, and like that, yeah, that's why OKC is so deep. Like, yes, you lose J-Dub, but like he played 7 minutes today. Like, it's not like he was there for most of this game either,
Or the season.
or the
Yeah.
season either. Yeah,
Yeah.
jeez. It's like, but it just feels like the series is just destined to go seven. There's just no way it doesn't.
Dude, I
Like,
was sure you guys are losing that game after that Wemby run and like J-Dub
Me
officially like
too.
probably out. I was sure because Wemby was doing some crazy shit, but then Shea kind of quieted the crowd and then you guys went on that run. Chet started getting going. And then
Yeah,
you
exactly.
should.
Like I was gonna say, like first half, I felt like we had so many chances to blow the game open, make it a 20-point game, or like at least double digits, like confidently.
yeah.
And then we didn't. So like it just felt like Wemby was coming. Like he's inevitable at this point.
Yeah.
And even though he only ended up with 21, like that third quarter was just like this is why you're terrified. This is why you have nightmares about this guy going into every playoff game.
I'm kind of sad that we didn't pod after the game one because it was
I
such a
know.
good game. I feel like should
Yeah.
we like talk about it a little bit? I mean, it was
Yeah.
like we didn't even talk about that Wemby three. Like there's so much that happened from that game. Caruso had 30 points. This guy is one of the most legendary playoff risers I think
Totally.
I've ever seen in terms of role players. Is he a
Yeah.
role player? Like I feel like he'd be like the fourth option on like our third, fourth option in some playoff teams.
Yeah, no, I mean it's incredible. He just does all the little things and he can shoot open threes and he's super smart. Like that's all it kind of is. He was instrumental in the Lakers championship. He was instrumental last year in the Thunder championship, and he could be again this year. I mean, it feels like I mean I think last year he was arguably your third most valuable player. A lot like we were talking about him as like a top three Thunder, like over like Chet at times
Yeah.
last year, especially because Chet was kind of falling off toward the end of the playoffs last year. Like Caruso was huge for them, and yeah, I mean, we saw what happened to Lakers when they let go of him in like what 2022. He wasn't on the team anymore. So yeah, I mean, he really is him, Jaden McDaniels, all-time playoff risers, bro.
It's honestly funny how similar Chet and Mobley's games are. Like it's these skinny, big archetypes that are like so lethal at times, but they can just be like just kind of almost sometimes easy to be played off the floor too, or just like marginalized so quickly. He's obviously gonna have a big role to play in the series, but like, and he was good on game one in ISO against Wemby too. Like, I think OKC would live with Wemby ISO and Chet. I don't think that's a huge issue.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
definitely did that a lot more this game where Chet was guarding Wemby just straight up.
Yeah.
And it felt like even though Caruso like was on the floor and they were like they just leant away from let Chet be the guy who guarded him. And a lot
And
of that
they
was the
weren't
third
really going
quarter.
at him. They weren't even
Yeah,
going at Chet, right? Like they just kind
right.
of let the matchup be.
Like Wemby,
Yeah.
if he's starting out, like Chet can do a good enough job if he's starting in the mid range trying to post him up. Like he's the length is there, and even though Wemby's like obviously longer than anyone else on the floor, like Chet can take the body contact at a certain point. He's not gonna fall over. He does a lot, but he's not gonna fall over on the first hit. He's gonna be able to keep up with you. And like I feel like he's done well typically on these post matches. Like even against Jokic at times, like he'd have good moments just guarding the post because of this like absurd length. You just don't really like you feel like you got him out of the way to just throw a push, and then his arms are just so long. It's kind of makes him this shot a lot tougher. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think what you're saying about Mobley and Chet, like I feel like a problem with them is just kind of the mentality. Also, like Wemby, there's like an aggression. There's a there's an anchor that like you see in a like a big man level like strength with him, even though he's not the strongest guy in the world. With Mobley and Chat, you just feel like they're kind of blank in their faces, right? Like if it
Mhm.
goes wrong, they're not like upset at themselves. They're just like, all right, we'll move on. And at the same time, if things go well, like yeah, they're okay. But like there's just like sometimes like I feel like when I was really upset like early in the third quarter when the Spurs were coming back, I was like some of the problems with this team is that like Shea carries so much of the identity where the lack of emotions can really like I mean it proved me wrong, right? Their level-headedness kept them through this game. But the lack of emotions also show you like you're kind of late to reacting a lot of the time. Where you're not like able to like give the urgency when in that third quarter, which they obviously did. So yeah, at times I feel like Chet has that issue where he's just not able to like really be assertive and take the issue into his own hands. He kind of just like you said, kind of exists in the on the court.
I think it's because like they are generally weaker than like positions lower than them. So
Right.
like at times like they can't like ISO a Josh Hart and back him down. And that's
Yeah.
like kind of demoralizing and like it kind of makes you sit there and think like damn like I'm not stronger than this guy. Wemby like even if he's not stronger than someone, very rarely is he not able to get some type of offensive game off. So
Yeah.
and he's also just more fluid, which is crazy because he's got like 3 or 4 inches on them. Um but yeah, I don't know, man. It's they're both such frustrating players because they can be so good, and they just I feel like they're just like fringe top 20 guys.
Yeah, at their best for sure. But I feel like Chet was always a little more fluid than Mobley was. But it's kind of hard
Definitely.
watching him, and he just looks so soft. Like you're seeing Stephon Castle body the shit out of him for these rebounds. It's crazy.
And
Even
his
Dylan
release is
Harper.
slow. His release is slow. Wemby blocked the shot today.
Yeah.
Three
No,
of
but
them.
not even just the shot. It's like a box out. They're just skying higher than you. He just looks like a frail, like he is frail. He literally looks frail. Like even Mobley doesn't even look like this. Like Chet looks really
No,
skinny.
Mobley's not this skinny for
Yeah,
sure.
he's not. He just feels bigger. Even if he's shorter. I don't even know how tall Mobley is. Like
There was
six.
a play in game one where like Harper where Wemby was posting up and he found Harper under the rim and Harper just
He
gave
bodied
Just
him.
pushed him out of
Yeah,
the
I
way. Yeah.
remember that shit. I literally was like, immediately I texted you guys like, "There's no sh if Chet cannot block that shot, that will fully negate this game plan to have Chet roaming because that is the exact shot he saw it coming to. It was so obvious when we was like he pretended to shoot. We saw Chet not react to the shot, which meant he knew the ball was going to go to Dylan Harper, and still he got bodied after like two pump fakes. That is wild. Just put your fucking hands up. How do you not block that? Or how do you let him shoot that over? Like it's crazy. But one thing I want to point out is it just must be hard if you're Chet, like to have a guy who hates you so much and he's so much better than you, like respectfully. Like that doesn't happen often. I saw a tweet. It's like this, like the Wemby Chet rivalry is like the first one where the instigator is actually the much better player. Like usually it's the shittier player.
Yeah.
Kind of talking up, but this poor guy, like every bucket, every missed free throw, Wemby's looking at him like, "Yeah, I'm better than you." And it's like, what are you gonna say? Like, yeah, he's the best player in the fucking league, possibly, or second best, right? And here I am, like a frail old man who like is not playing well in the playoffs. Like it sucks. But I'm glad Chet got going or later in the third. That was nice. That was really he finally showed some emotion to Sai's point. But you can't really like you can't blame him. Like it sucks. Like imagine you go to an open gym and
Yeah.
some random big ass 7 foot black dude is killing you and he's laughing at you afterwards. Like, what are you gonna say? Like, I'm sorry, I'm
Yeah.
not good enough.
I think he'll have a bounce back game, and I think he'll have a big game at some point because he is still the best ISO Wemby defender they have. So he still has a role to play. Just like I think he's just got to find like more pockets of space that he can operate in because like this operating like a phone booth thing
You
is
got
just
him blocked on jumpers like multiple times in both games by Wemby, and those are things you don't see often. Like his little mid-range jumper, he got blocked on in first game. This three-pointer, he got blocked on in this game. It's
what frustrates me most about these big guys, and even Wemby doesn't really have it yet, is that like just develop a simple post hook can take your game
yeah,
so far. Mobley kind of like he tries to go to it a lot more than Chet and Wemby do. Wemby, I mean, if he gets a post hook, I don't even need the sky hook. Just give me a unstoppable because it's just back down. And even if you bump him off a spot, it's still you still can't block it.
yeah. He's
Chet,
Yeah, I think it's
Paul
your
Reed's
Chet
still
is just who's he posting up? Who's he getting that close to the paint with? You know what I
that's
mean?
so true. Yeah.
yeah,
Like you have to get within like four to
Similar to
five
Isaiah
feet.
Hartenstein, bro. Even
No,
that
Isaiah
little flip
Hartenstein.
shot of Isaiah Hartenstein, when it goes in, it's like all net, man. That shot is
No,
it's
that shot
beautiful.
is so good. I saw him practicing like before game one on this like a really high, someone like a trainer had like a super high, and he just like
Yeah, it's so
usually it's a lot shorter, but like for this he's just like trained how to get higher on it and make sure Wemby's not blocking. He had one near like the free throw line, which was really
he
impressive
had
today.
three today.
he's
Yeah,
very confident taking. He's been like doing that.
for
That's not
sure. It's honestly the regular season. I feel like he struggled with that shot more than he usually does, and like the playoffs, it's kind of turned around, which I'm really happy about.
yeah.
Yeah, but going back to game one, like you said, like that was probably the game of the playoffs for sure. I mean, double overtime. Just so many memorable moments there. Like the fourth quarter was like epic. You know, going back to it, like the Spurs were kind of taking it to the Thunder all game, especially Wemby. But at the same time, Harper really having a good game, getting a ton of steals, 7 steals, like you said, Rohan, like Spurs franchise rookie record, or maybe the franchise record, I think, at the playoffs. Like just ridiculous. I felt like a lot of the times Shea was just kind of getting overwhelmed, and Jada really in the moment was being like the assertive number two, and then obviously Caruso just in like every time he was open, you just felt confident with him and the ball in his hands. Either he made a good play, shot the ball well, but that just wasn't enough. You had 3 players probably
Yeah.
really impressed you that game, and that was a double overtime game, which is great, but. Like the Spurs are just like a machine, especially when Wemby can get going like that. 41 points, 22 rebounds, 3 blocks.
Uh,
Maybe that was probably the performance of the year, I think. Like he had one game at the beginning of the season reminded me of that, just like complete two-way dominance.
Season. That was against the Mavs. Remember that?
Yeah.
That was
Like
crazy what he did.
game one of the season.
I really think now that looking at game two and then looking back on game one, like I was watching the highlights after, and it's like jarring to see like he's like getting rebounds over J-Dub, and like that just wasn't happening in game two with Hartenstein out there. Like
Yeah.
I think Mark made a mistake in game one going away from Isaiah way too quick. I think he just like had this preconceived notion that this wasn't gonna work or this like worry going into it. I think he just leaned into it too early, and he shouldn't have given him a little more run. I mean, he played 12 minutes in game one.
Yeah.
Like that's like your biggest, best, not your best big defender, but your biggest defender. Like you're playing a 7-4 demigod. Like you have to have him out there for at least 25 minutes. I wouldn't be surprised in game three, especially with I'm sure like the Spurs will say something to the NBA about like how physical he was being and blah blah blah. I would bet that we see two Isaiah Hartenstein fouls in like 5 minutes.
I I think it's more likely, not to be a hater, but I feel like it's more likely Isaiah Hartenstein gets played off the court than ends up being like a Chet stopper consistently in the 7 game series. I feel like the adjustments they make, like there's definitely more adjustments you can make to counteract what Isaiah Hartenstein did this game and get Wemby like looks closer to the hoop than the opposite, where we kind of see like, yeah, Isaiah Hartenstein continue to play big minutes and consistently stop Wemby from attempting shots. It just we've seen it. We saw him make Rudy Gobert practically unplayable, and I think it's more likely we see this happen to the Thunder, especially as we go to San Antonio and we see the floor shrink. We're not going to see Alex Caruso hitting this many threes. Probably not going to see Casey Wallace and Jared McCain get. We'll see. We'll see. We'll
Oh,
see.
never know.
Here, Lou Dort sure as hell is not going 3 or 4 from the field. Starting off 3 of 3. It's not happening again. So we'll see. But
It
yeah, that's
wasn't
my
like, yeah. I will say about Hartenstein, like I think you're right in some aspects. Like I feel like Wemby will be more assertive as a roamer in the paint going forward. And then at that point, having two non-shooters just gets kind of detrimental. So with that, like Hartenstein, but I think the rebounding was just so big in this game. Like offensive rebounds, he had 8.
game one
And
was terrible. Oh my
it
God.
was atrocious. And because a lot of the time they were going completely small with Jada up at center, Chet at center, who's just not a rebounder. And when you have, again, 12 minutes of Isaiah Hartenstein, you're not going to box anyone out,
Mhm.
especially Victor Wembanyama, who's like 5 inches taller than the next closest guy. Like the rebounding is just so big, and then I think just the screening as well. Like you don't really have a lot of screeners who can create the space against these levels of double teams. And if Wemby's guarding Isaiah Hartenstein, that's fine, right? Either he's going to be kind of sent back and shake and go into an open mid-range jumper, or if someone else is if someone else is guarding, you're going to have a mismatch. You can get a better chance on the glass. Like I think that's the advantage Isaiah Hartenstein brings to this game, and you got to play him at the right moments. And I just felt like today was a good moment for that. But the fact is, you have the optionality to play Holmgren, you have the optionality to play Caruso. What worries me now is you don't have J-Dub anymore who can guard Wemby. Like that's really what's scary. So you're gonna have to really rely on Hartenstein to be a Wemby like defender. And yeah, we'll see how that
Wemby did
goes.
look pretty comfortable against Dub in the first game, but obviously
Yeah.
like small
I thought
sample.
he did a good enough job though. It's like,
Offensively, it's a bigger issue losing
yeah,
AJ and J-Dub. Like you were losing ball handlers. AJ was already having trouble getting to the rim with Wemby there. He hit some crazy shots today. A couple like that one like floater, that contested floater in the middle of that Spurs run was like I don't know how that went in.
yeah.
But yeah, that's I would be way more concerned about that. Defensively, it seems like I don't know that J-Dub was causing a ton. I guess like him being like a potential Wemby one-on-one defender allows Chet to roam, and now you kind of lose that option. But I would be more worried
Yeah.
for that
I
loss.
think Chet was just last game, the first game, not really roaming, right? He was on Champagny, who was a good shooter, right? You really have to worry about in the corner. And then just when Wemby's getting these like he's getting a post up on Jade up when he's like 7 feet away from the basket. He's going to be able to just go over him. And at that point, like, what's Wemchek going to do helping one pass away from Julian Champagny wide open in the corner?
Yeah.
Like, it's just tough to be in that situation. So that's why I think like they should have just had Chet guard Wemby straight up, and then which if Hardenstein's the case, that's fine. But like at that point, like what value is Chet really adding? That's the unfortunate thing, right? And that's probably why they kind of benched him down the stretch, because you lose that activity level as like a guy who can create steals, like Caruso, Case and Wallace at the end, AJ Mitchell at the end, until he got hurt. Like those guys can create activity, really collapse the floor on Castle especially, and create turnovers that way. Like Chet's just not doing that. He's kind of slow, especially to that level. Like he's not slow enough or fast enough to recover to out the shooters and help. So if he's not being a roamer, like you might as well just play Wemby straight up and kind of just collapse on these guards. I think that's the only way you can play it.
Yeah. Valid. All right. Any other thoughts from this game? Or we could I know Sal's been putting it off, but we
Let's do
could
some
move on.
predictions. What do you guys?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
mean, how are you thinking? I think before the series, you guys both had Thunder in 6. I had Thunder in 7.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna move the Spurs in 7. I'm totally
Okay.
flipping. Yeah.
the injuries are just so like they mean so much because like if Dylan is out, then I don't know if Spurs can win this series. But I think I'm still gonna stick to Thunder in six. Honestly,
Thunder and six.
Wow.
Oh shit.
yeah,
Okay.
I feel like they'll steal one in San Antonio, and I think they'll steal.
The
And then I
second
think
one in San Antonio.
they'll win game five, and I think they can win game six. I think
Okay.
Wemby just like too much wear and tear on his body, like 49 minutes. I mean, that's the most he's ever played probably in his life in a
Yeah.
game, you know? And you saw it today, and I can only imagine that it's gonna get, he might have stretches where he feels super dominant, but like how many minutes did he play today? I'm not even sure.
37.
37. Like, and I mean, and Mitch Johnson played him 6 minutes in the first quarter. So
Right.
he played 31 minutes over the course of the last 36 minutes. Like, I think that when the more Cornet's out there, the more they realize they can't hang, the more they realize they need to play Wemby. It'll just be a little too much. And I trust OKC a little more right now, especially with, I don't know what's going on with Fox too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Fox and Harper injuries seem really big. I would guess Fox comes back next game, which really changes things. So I still think OKC in 7 seems like the right choice. I think the third Spurs are going to throw a punch next game. With if Fox is back, even though he's like relatively unhealthy, the fact that he's just like not turnover prone, like Castle is just going to change how the Spurs or how the Thunder kind of dominate that margin of the game. And then yeah, I mean, if Wemby can get going, if they can figure out how to like get Art Hartenstein in foul trouble, like that can completely change the game. Like he's just that important to this team. And although with Fox on the floor, without Harper, without I think Shea can get his stuff going a little easier, and you're not as worried about his or the double teams that kind of come up. Um, I don't expect him to have like I feel like he's gonna have like need to have like a 3 or 4 more perfect games. I felt like he was really good tonight. So if he has that in him, then yeah, I think the Thunder can win in 6. But I think he's probably gonna struggle a little bit. Vic's probably gonna get his going. Like I'll go Thunder in 7.
Yeah, I think Fox is like he's gonna struggle. The Thunder just kill small guards. So I mean, then on
That's
both
fair.
ends. So they definitely Dylan Harper is not a small guard by any means.
Not at all.
It's a very, very different
His
match.
layup package is nasty.
Dude, he's so tough. He's so strong. He's long. He can finish. Like, dude, I love that guy.
Pause. Pause.
Yeah. No, no pause, bro. I love him. Okay. All right, let's move. Oh yeah. So predictions. Okay. So I guess I'm flipping. You guys are kind of keeping your predictions the same. So
I'm
I'll
I'm not
get us
weak like
started.
that. How are you gonna flip, man?
We buried the lead. I'm sorry. Buried the lead. Cavs blew a 22-point lead with
Uh,
7 minutes left in the fourth quarter. 44-11 run overall. Harden 1.99 points per possession on defense. Insane. I think it was just fourth quarter in OT. I forget. But yeah, take it away, Sal. What are your thoughts?
well, I mean, first of all, you got to give credit to Brunson. I mean, the shots that he was making, it's like I can't even sit here and blame James Harden because like he's not supposed to be able to go out there and guard Brunson. Like, yeah, you ideally can hold him to less than 1.99 points per possession. Um, but that's still not his job. That's not why you pay him all this money and not why you'll probably extend him in the future. Jesus. But Brunson was phenomenal. He finished with uh,
38.
38. Wow. Yeah, he finished with 38. Um, but really, it just comes down to Kenny Atkinson. And I wish I worked for some Cleveland paper and I was in the room so I could ask him some questions at that press conference because I don't think I've ever seen a coach directly cost his team a game like I just saw Kenny Atkinson do. First of all, to sit there and watch James Harden guard Brunson 8 times in one quarter, which has only been done 30 times in since the tracking data was available. 30 times, and he led the obviously the most points per possession. To let that happen over and over again, and on top of that, in an 18-1 run, not call no timeouts, and then in the post game tell reporters that I like to hold my timeouts in case we're only up one or two. Brother, you're up 20. Now you're up 15 and now you're up 10. At some point, a timeout has to come. To be fair, a timeout was called around the 3 minute mark finally, and they played no better. So maybe the timeout didn't even matter in the first place. It just felt like and then all of a sudden they started like doubling him. When there's a six, you're up six with a minute left. You don't want to give up three, so you start doubling, soft doubling, Jalen Brunson and letting them swing the ball around. Mikal Bridges three, Landry Shamet three, and then you're like, all right, we're going to OT. We need to stop Jalen Brunson. Let's pull up Sam Merrill to guard Jalen Brunson. I don't understand why he's not telling Dean Wade to fight through some screens and try to stay on him as long as you can. Because if Jalen Brunson's dribbling down the floor, he calls on Harden's guy, okay, come screen for me. It's 16 on the shot clock, and you already have Harden switched on to Brunson. Maybe if Dean fights over one, maybe and even concedes it on the second switch, the second screen, maybe the shot clock's at 12. It's like you're putting Harden out there to die. Like I can't even blame James. He's not a good defender. We all know that. I mean, Kenny Atkinson said in the post,
Said he's one of the best defenders on the team on the team this season. That's wild. He said that shit. And then Mike
insane.
Brown comes at the opposite thing saying, "Yeah, we were attacking James Harden. I
And
see him
to be
dribbling
fair,
through
like
it."
this is the issue that I've always had with Kenny Atkinson. It's the fact that he's so stuck on analytics. He's always been like this. And the analytics do say that James Harden is actually a decent defender. But he's a better isolation defender than Darius Garland
Yeah.
by points per possession, which, I mean, that's not saying anything, but that's why they made the trade. But he just has this unwavering faith in analytics. Is a poor situational coach, right? Like he doesn't have a good grasp on the situation. We've never been a good inbounding team late in games. Like just we've seen so many collapses from this team in just the past 2 years, regular season and playoffs. That comes on coaching, and he can't adapt. He doesn't know how to adapt. I mean, like it's shades of JB Bickerstaff in terms of not being able to adjust on the fly. And soft switches, passive blitzes. I mean, OG Anunoby had like I think 14 of their or something 14 of their last 19 or something like that just because you started to soft double Brunson and leave OG wide open. I don't know, man. It's one of the most frustrating games I've ever seen. And we were talking in the chat and Sai's like, "Oh, what a fucking win!" And Ron's like, "You said some other things." And the moment like they got it down to like 18 or 17, I told my roommate, I was like, "Wow, we're choking this." And slowly, it was like Gut
Unbelievable.
wrenching.
Yeah.
Because I thought you guys put it away when Mobley hit that three, like like a few
Yeah,
minutes
I mean,
before.
that's probably like one of the most heartbreaking losses you can have as a fan. Like
Unbelievable.
I think
as an underdog going into the series, winning game one at home would have just changed the momentum of the series to be up 22 and then just see your team gradually give you away points.
What do you even say in the fucking locker room after the
Yeah.
game? After like all these guys are watching. I know Harden doesn't have social media or whatever the fuck. Every other guy's scrolling on Twitter, watching them break down every single bucket they had on James Harden.
Yep.
Well, okay, so to actually talk about like the game though, um, the Cavs were up 22 doing some really good stuff. The defense was great. Mobley was great on Cat. We were running off Josh Hart. Then Mike Brown went to Shamit and this whole offense lineup, which basically meant that we couldn't
Yep.
really help. And that kind of changed the entire game plan. But really benching Josh Hart was the key. And they stopped putting two on the ball. Like in the second quarter, second and third, they started doubling James Harden at half court as if he's gonna like score 35 on you or
Yeah.
40. Now we were put Schroeder in the pick and roll. Schroeder's playing 4-on-3. He's a savvy guy. Kick out to Sam Merrill. The offense was humming because they started putting two on the ball. I would be shocked if we see Mike Brown put two on the ball again, especially against James Harden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought a lot of the third quarter was just really poor rotation from the Knicks. Like especially like you said, two on the ball and then just behind the play, like you just two passes away, there's an open three. Like two passes away, there's a three where you could just cut off the get a lane downhill. And they completely dominated the possession game as well. Like just got a ton of turnovers from the Knicks. They coughed it up 5 times in that quarter. But like you said, Hart was atrocious. Like he was just like a Nasar Thompson, like a just a guy you can put in the middle of the or avoid having to guard and just kind of changes your entire defense. And then once you put Shaman in, I think the move immediately would just put Merrill back in the floor. And I guess that makes you small, but at least it lets you keep up offensively and then spaces you out. Like I think Allen they just didn't have the guys to move around the paint. And every time it felt like either, I mean, obviously they give away the switches because you have to, right? You double a one pass away. It's just so the paint's so wide open. But at the same time, like Brunson's 6'1". Like just if you're gonna blitz hard as hell. And they just like Harden walked up to it. Dean Wade kind of just let him go. And then you're one pass away. OG either drives the ball downhill or just passes again, like you said, to McHale or to Shamit, who hit that crazy shot, like the and then obviously a lot of it is luck. Like the Knicks shot horrendously throughout this game. And then fourth quarter, they were just scorching hot from three. 5 for 7. And then in overtime again. Like at the end of the game, the Cavs and the Knicks shot basically the same, which was insane considering the first 3 quarters, how the Knicks shot like 23% from three and the Cavs were like near 40. A lot of that is just luck at the end of the day. But yeah, it's rough. Like
That
obviously luck
Sam
has is
Merrill,
involved. Yeah,
that
but the almost bang, yeah.
Oh my God, yeah. I think one thing about the Harden thing, Mike Brown did say his game plan in doubling Harden. He was like, we played Harden so many times. We know he's going to dribble the air out of the ball for like the first 16 seconds of the shot clock. So I think he kind of expected that to happen. And I guess Harden was making the right play, at least for the first 3 quarters while they were doubling. I honestly would not be surprised if he actually does go to that again, just because if he thinks Harden would react differently as the series goes on. And given just like psychologically, that Harden knows that he was responsible for a lot of the reason why they lost last game.
he
It's
doesn't care.
right.
He doesn't care.
Go
He
fuck.
doesn't care.
Anyway, yeah, I liked your point. Yeah, it was a lot of bullshit shot. Like Mikal Bridges was hitting some crazy shots. That step back was insane. It feels like in terms of the defense on Jalen Brunson, they're always just a step behind. Like Jalen Brunson's man is always on his back, like in his back shoulder for something. So he ends up getting wide open floaters or a wide open three in the corner every single possession. So yeah, you got to go on a hard double and Jalen Brunson kind of live with the result, I feel.
Wade was actually really good on him. They had a 33 offensive rating when Wade was guarding Brunson. So they got to be able to keep that matchup as long as they can because he's really their only shot. Strus is getting fried too. Harden, obviously.
Yeah.
Um, I think you put two on the ball versus Mitchell because he's just not that good of a passer and he's shorter too. So he can't get that bounce pass. He can't feed that guy. But Harden is too savvy. Like he can easily hit that guy, and that's what get the Cavs offense going. I hope they keep putting two on the ball against
Yeah.
Harden. But I mean, the moment they started playing drop against Harden and Cat was backing up, he doesn't really want to take that pull up midi. Like he kind of wants to dribble it back. And a lot of we made about the Cavs like defense in that stretch and how like they were getting toasted. But dude, their offense was so bad and reverted to like all the worst habits that they have.
Yeah.
Frustratingly, like Mitchell is just like step back threes. Mobley's like missing a floater. Mobley shot 8 threes today. That's I had a
He was
stat.
hitting them though, I felt like.
He
I felt
he,
like
he
he
was
was their
he
best
was hitting.
three-point shooter.
I mean, he hit two, and like, but if Mobley's hitting, that was his career high in the playoffs. They're 1-5 when he takes over 5 threes. So really, like, if Mobley's taking a lot of threes, that's a sign that the offense isn't doing what it's supposed to do, and a lot of those were late in the game. So I
Yeah.
mean,
It feels like the Cavs aren't resilient. It feels like when they are faced with adversity in these situations, they do revert back to that kind of
the
that.
thing is, like, we say they're not resilient, but like they won 2 game 7s. Like the RJ Barrett like shot like that, you could have crumbled after that. The game
Yeah.
6 at home, embarrassing against the Pistons. You go on game 7 and win. Like I maybe this is like just some homer talk, and like I'm pretty a pessimistic fan. You guys know that, but like if there's ever a team that like they don't get too high, they don't get too low, right? And
Mhm.
like hopefully this is one of the things where they just don't get too low. Frustratingly, like they just never show up with enough urgency, but they were
Yeah.
so good out the gate in game one. Like you got to think that there's like you got to hold on to some of that.
Yeah, I think what the Knicks did figure out though is that Brunson ball works against this team. Like that's just something they haven't been leaning towards in the first couple rounds of the
Yeah.
postseason. Like they've been kind of going with the cat hub offense, and it wasn't working as much, especially with Josh Hart on the floor. And even then, like when you have guys like Shamit, like they're just you just lose a lot of cutting that you have with Hart, a lot of the screening we have with Hart, a lot of the secondary playmaking. So the when you have a guy like Shamit on the floor, you can just run Brunson ball whenever you want. There's two poor defenders on the floor at all times on the Cavs. Even if it's not Harden and Mitchell, it's Merrill, it's Schroeder. There's always a ball handler who just like can't really mess with the guys and with Brunson. When he can create an offense like that'll probably be good enough to take over this game. So unless the Cavs shoot really well, I feel like they're gonna struggle. And I think I don't know what you really do to do that. I think you start maybe considering start Strus and just like try to pressure Brunson as much as possible. He's been really good all postseason in that like full court pressure. And I know Wade's like a great matchup for Brunson. He might get comfortable. But I think leaving Brunson kind of alone, letting him get comfortable in these isolation matchups might be more what you lean towards instead of getting guys more involved and open, and then just making him uncomfortable, making it harder on him just by pressuring him up full court. Like I don't really know how else to guard the Knicks. They're really tough.
This was the issue with the Harden Donovan Mitchell backcourt. Like you just don't have a perimeter defender like to guard small, quick guards, and that's
Yeah.
always been the Cavs' problem. Like that,
It's
regardless.
tough because like Strus definitely can't guard Brunson and like
Yeah.
he will get fried. But the thing is like Brunson is actually one of the best hedge and recover guys like in terms of when he's playing defense that I've seen in like in terms of small guards where
Right.
like he will get out to the guy like make him almost pick up his dribble then get back to the other guy. If that's Strus who has some who has some movement and shooting ability, like you can create plays out of that. But like Wade is just going up setting that screen, then he's running back. No advantage is being created from that. So like but then on the other end, like you need Wade to guard Brunson to start the game. So it's like I don't really know which I don't envy Kenny there. But one more thing I gotta ask about Kenny, guys. How do you let Jalen Tyson just like rot on the bench? I don't understand. He was so good all season.
Yeah, it feels like he could be the answer here. Like he's a rare true two-way guy on your team who
The only
could
one. There's the
he could
only
like it's Mobley and him, I guess, right? I mean, Jared Allen's fine, but like in terms of guys who actually like can create their shot offensively, it feels like he's like the only real like I don't know why you're playing Strus or Dean Wade over Jalen Tyson when
I mean, he put Keon Ellis in for 6 minutes.
yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me.
What has Keon done to earn takeover Tyson? It makes no sense to me. Like he was our bright spot also.
Possibly a better defender for smaller guys. I don't know, like quicker.
And he's a very good playmaker out of the short roll, which is like what like I don't know, man.
Yeah. I
I
will say Tyson has struggled from three in the playoffs. It feels like it just hasn't been like, but at the same time,
He's
you
so
don't have a
inconsistent.
lot of size. He's way better of a playmaker than Keon Ellis. I mean, Keon really played 5 minutes, but like still, like Tyson just needs to play a little more. I think Schroeder is just like such a tough watch at times too. Like 1 for 9 this game. It just
He'll
feels
win the
like
game
when
though.
he's kind of looking for his own shot, it just doesn't look good a lot of the time. Um, yeah, I think
unless he's got Germany on his chest, he doesn't have
true.
any powers apparently.
No.
So after that abomination of a game. Do you guys have any series predictions? Has it changed? What you guys? We didn't really say what we had before, but I don't know.
Oh, what did I have? I had Knicks in seven, I think. I
Really?
kind of think with that. I think Cavs will make it a fight.
I think I had Knicks in six because I just thought they matched up pretty well with the starting lineup. Just the fact that they can muck things up, and it didn't feel like the Knicks had really played any teams with real size until this point. Like Embiid, even though he was injured for a lot of it, like their front court size wasn't that really that crazy. Like having Mobley and Allen's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Uh, so that's where I was leaning. But after that game one, I felt like that was one of their biggest chances and just such a demoralizing win. I'd probably go move it to like Knicks in five.
Yeah, I was. I think I was Knicks in six, and I'd probably keep it there. But
Okay.
really, it's like seasons on the line in game two. Like you lose that game, you're probably losing in five. I don't
You
think
think
there's.
so? I mean, they've been pretty good at home. So like maybe
But
they can take two.
there's so many times you can go down 2-0 and then come
Fair.
back and even make a series in the first place.
Yeah.
Um, we'll see. It's also, dude, they've played like every other day since like April 19th or something like that. Like
Get the
really
schedule
spot.
like what's the rush with these games? They're like in the conference finals, you should be having 2 days between games at
They
least.
just want
But
games
like
every night. That's the thing.
when they go from when they go from like is OKC and San Antonio not very far away? Are they it's
No, it's
every
like
other day.
a
Yeah, the next
5 hour
game.
drive. Yeah.
And then even for the Knicks thing, it's Knicks Cavs. I mean,
Yeah.
that's that sucks for them, dude. These are like gruel, especially. I mean, not to take it back to other series, but especially Thunder Spurs, bro. How can you play within 48 hours of each other after seeing what these guys are going through? My God.
I mean,
Like
that's
you
why
can't
like
even practice. You just gotta
Yeah, you
rest as
can't
much as
practice. You
possible.
literally cannot practice. You
Yeah.
need a full rest day.
I mean, you saw like when the Cavs went to OT, like I don't think anybody thought that the Cavs were going to win that game. They were like
No.
already had no momentum
No
and they had no
momentum. They just
legs.
wasted
Like,
it. Yeah.
1 for 7, 3 points that quarter, that OT period, just tough.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
yeah.
sorry. Yeah, it's a
No,
really
I think Mitchell does not look right. I think he's hurt or something. They're not saying it, but like though even the way he just walked around the court limping, like it does not look good. He
he
doesn't have
came
much
out the
force.
gates aggressive though. Like he started, I was like very excited
Yeah,
for
he was really good the first half.
Every fourth quarter, it feels like he's just like worn down.
Hmm. Well,
yeah.
it has
Oh,
been, yeah.
he has to
He played
take over.
14 games, 15
Yeah.
games now. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the most he's ever played this first time in the conference finals.
Very true.
All right. Should we go over Wolves and Pistons off seasons?
Let's
Mhm.
do it.
All right. Well, I haven't really even thought about any of this, so I guess I'll be talking off the
Do
top
we
of my
have
head.
the article we want to pull up?
Let me see.
Yeah. Let's see if I can have that. Well, the Pistons, the biggest question for the Pistons is, um, what do they do with Jalen Duren? Like, you obviously you have to keep him, right? Like, you can't have a sign and trade or something like that. It's just
He's gonna
like
make an all NBA team though, so he can get like a huge
I don't
extension.
think you can sign him for more than like 35 mil, man. Like,
No, I wouldn't. Yeah, but like he will demand that much, and I'm sure some team will give him that money.
all right, so the free agents they have are Jalen Duren, Tobias Harris, Javonte Green, um, Dan Shanks is on a team option. They'll pick that up. Kevin Huerter's unrestricted. 139 in salary, stay over the cap because of Duran's cap hold. Yeah, it's his free agency first. Like, I think you pay him. It's and then try to give him 35. Like, he's eligible for a 5 year, $239 million.
Oh my
That's
God,
how you kill a franchise. Like,
$1 million a year for Jalen Duren, who's outplayed by Paul Reed and Wendell Carter Jr. at different points.
and you have to think about you can now extend Asar Thompson, and he
Yeah.
was the best perimeter defender in the playoffs, but probably the worst offensive player in the playoffs as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
No.
Thompson, you could look at a similar to maybe a Dyson Daniels like contract, which is pretty expensive at the end of the day. Like that's 25 million, I think, a year. But at that point, you kind of have to do it. He's top five defender in the league and super impactful for that team.
I mean, you had Kenny Atkinson literally saying in the post game that we were just not going to Asar Thompson, and honestly,
Yep.
probably why Donovan Mitchell felt very comfortable in the first half because he was not being hounded by this demon of a defender.
Yeah.
Uh, it's a lot easier to go from a Asar Thompson to a Josh Hart, despite Josh Hart being a very solid defender.
Minnesota
But
also had some boneheaded plays in the later stages of the playoffs. He had some bad fouls, and then like offensively, if he's not, he can't really give you much consistently. So it's definitely like a very like if he's a yeah. do like a full like non-factor offensively. You can't really play him.
Well,
Yeah.
the Pistons have their own first round pick in the next 7 seasons. So like they have the capital to go out there and get shooting and scoring around Cade because it was too easy to just trap him, at half
You didn't
court.
have a second option. Like,
Have
what the fuck?
anybody.
Tobias Harris can't be your second option, bro. That's insane. Especially because he finally came back down to earth in that game seven. So
And I don't know what's up with Isaiah Stewart. Like, I don't know if he got hurt, I think a little bit in the Magic series, and he's been terrible.
very bad.
In game seven, he started like knocking down people and like giving the Cavs free throws. And then there was a clip that, like, they briefly showed him on the bench, like being yelled at by the Pistons staff. 'Cause it's like, yeah, you're this physical, really great big, but like, if you're just making boneheaded plays out there, not helping winning in any way, then like, what value do you have? And he makes 50 mil a year. So that's something that I could see them moving off of at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's probably the answer. You re-sign Duren, kind of go hopefully for more friendly. 35 mil is probably like around what they're probably gonna look for. And if I'm Duren too, like you understand how bad you were this playoff. He had maybe 2 games, 15 points. Other than that, he was under 15 the entire game, entire playoffs. Maybe one of the like I think there was like a stat where he was like as a dropper points per game wise, it was like him and Wilt Chamberlain, and Wilt Chamberlain went from like 50 points per game to 35. Just ridiculous how he went from like 19 points per game to like 11. Just kind of absurd how bad of a drop he had. Every aspect of the game that was a strength kind of just became meh, like pretty so 35 million seems like a lot even for that. Like
Not
if
even a
he is
great
what he
pick.
is.
That's
But
like,
he's 22. Like he's 22 and
That's the thing. He's super young.
yeah.
you got to think, and his touch just like completely went away. I
Yeah.
thought he's okay defensively too, like somewhat.
Stewart was literally is a better defender than Jalen Duren is. Like they kind of he's a big reason why that Pistons the interior defense was so elite these like the entire regular season. So that's like to me a big reason why Jalen Duren doesn't deserve the money. But he was so dominant and efficient offensively, and that Cade pick and roll with him that they could not go to enough in that second series against the Cavs. Um, yeah, it makes him useless.
You kind of got to give Cade like the Luka script, right? Give him like a role big like Duran, sure. Give him some and surround him with shooting and defense, and like you'll have a really really good team.
But that role big is such a, I wouldn't, it's like somewhat of a replaceable role. Like that can't be your second best player if it's Jalen. Like Jalen Duren can't be your second best player. You'd rather have another ball handler out there who can score. Like you need shooting. Duncan Robinson was so big for them this season for that exact reason. And then it went like, yeah, he had a couple like random shots in game seven, but overall he was not great. You need another like actual ball handler.
I agree with you. Like I don't think that he can be your second highest paid player, but like it's so hard to get away from a 22-year-old who
Yeah.
like had the season he did.
CJ McCollum, bro. Like the life is just hard for these guys. I don't know what they're supposed to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think Trey Murphy makes a lot of sense for this team as a
Oh,
trade candidate.
I was gonna say that. That is
Like I don't know who else out there is a real shooter, like Trey is that is on
I
a team that
understand you. Decide I
well,
don't have to.
honestly that would be a great pickup too. Like
Yeah.
with
But I
this
do
is
think
a
that
secondary ball handler. Yeah.
I do think the Magic showed us like you can't just add one shooter and expect your like 3-point volume to just go up completely. It comes with like you have to learn legitimate spacing. And I don't think JB Bickerstaff is the coach who will do that for you. Like you need a offensive minded coach to kind of unlock that because spacing is so important. Like even in OKC series, like today, like they did such a good job of spacing Jared McCain in specific places where when you come to double Shea, now we have a kick out right there. If that's like somebody else in the corner like if I'm blanking on whoever that could be for the Pistons, but like if that's Tobias Harris, like you don't feel that scared about that. But yeah, now if that's Trey Murphy, like that now that's a really scary team. I think they will end up getting off Bickerstaff at some point because he's just not offensive minded enough. And this team has enough defensive principles instilled already that like you can carry that over through the assistants coaches and the assistant staff. But Trey Murphy would be nice and like
Yeah.
I
I think the
agree.
difference though is just you have Cade Cunningham and he can create open shots for
yeah.
others like that Paulo Banchero or Franz Wagner. Like they're pretty much black holes some of the times. And like if you're collapsing the paint, like even if you get Desmond Bane, that's the only guy you have to worry about. They at least have Duncan Robinson. Maybe they re-sign Tobias Harris or at least sign and trade him for maybe Trey Murphy, like with that contract. Like those are some shooters
It's
and
such a
Jenkins can
good
shoot.
pickup
Like
for
there's a
them.
lot of guys.
Yeah, I mean Desmond Bain turned into one of their best playmakers on the Magic. Like you have Cade, like he'll actually like he would the same way you say like Shea is gonna find Jared McCain in the right spots. Like you expect Cade to do the
Yeah,
same thing.
definitely.
And again, if you do have like that, maybe unlocks Jalen Duren a little bit more if you have a secondary ball handler and shooter there. It definitely like that's a great fit. Right? That's a good call, Sai. Um, yeah, I don't really have any other thoughts on the. I really haven't thought much of the Pistons.
I
Like,
think they're going to be one of the more aggressive teams in the offseason. I am worried though, like what if a team like Chicago or even Los Angeles, like if they just go all in on Dirk, like, and at a certain point, you just kind of have to let him go because he is a restricted free agent. You have to match any contract. So if
yeah,
a team like Chicago just goes like, we'll pay you $40 million, what do you do in that case?
I don't know. I mean, I guess you got to look at the rest of the market and see if like is there somebody serviceable that you feel like can give you 60 to 80% of what Duran could for a cheaper deal.
Right.
Um, I don't know. I don't know who will be a free agent, but that would be a really tough position to be in. I don't think the Lakers would do that. I think
No, me
like
neither. I think Chicago could though, like
how
Chicago.
much more is how much more did Jalen give you? Does Jalen give you in the playoffs than Daniel Gafford next to Cade? Is that like a crazy question to ask in the playoffs? Regular
Yeah,
season,
no, I agree. That's very reasonable.
75% of Durant at least.
Gafford's
Probably
probably
even
even a better
more.
shot blocker than Jalen Duren is, but like, and like he's as good, maybe as good of a rim run. I don't know. He probably doesn't have as much rim pressure, but like,
What if they
you
go
never
for
know.
Kyrie?
Who the
It
Pistons?
seems like, yeah, it seems like the Mavs are kind of going in another direction. Kyrie, like obviously
Why
coming off the
not AD? Why
ACL.
not AD? Why not Jalen Duren sign and trade to the fucking I don't even
I
know
wouldn't do that
Wizards?
if I'm the
Why would the
Pistons. That
Wizards?
feels like a ender. Like Kyrie, at least
Low-key. I mean,
he's a
do you
two
trust
guard.
Kyrie more right now than like AD? Like
I think I do just because the
coming
injuries.
off
Like
an
even though ACL, like I don't feel like an ACL makes you injury prone. Especially, I think he took a lot
AD's
longer than he needed to.
sure, but like
Because
AD's
he
like
was,
there, like he's like
yeah.
fine.
I don't know. Trading for any of these guys is just not. I don't think it's in the
Yeah.
mix. It's
Like
like
you go AD and Gafford together, or Kyrie and Gafford together.
They should get Porzingis, bro. Even though I want to keep Porzingis, like a healthy Porzingis next to
Eh,
Cade.
I
It
wouldn't love that either.
healthy Porzingis is the long
Yeah,
gone.
it's an
exists.
oxymoron.
Should we talk Timberwolves real
Let's
quick?
do it. Yeah.
Uh,
Timberwolves is free. You want to do it, Si?
Yeah, they have their the Detroit draft pick that they traded for in that Kevin Huerter deal.
Mhm.
That's number 28. But other than that, they don't have a ton of draft picks going into the future. Obviously, Dante DiVincenzo is a huge loss. He's going to be out for the next regular season, you assume, unless, Jason Tatum 2.0. And their free agents, they have Io, who definitely raised his value this postseason. They have Bones, Jalen Clark's a restricted free agent. Mike Conley's an unrestricted. I feel like they'll bring him back on a minimum. He's just been a really serviceable glue guy for them. But this is a team, right at the first apron. Um, it's sorry, right at the first apron. So like they're gonna have to start like if they want to pay Io, they're gonna have to spend some money. And then the question is, do you keep Julius Randle? It seems like Ant is really aggressive about getting a second star. Like I think I've seen reports about Kyrie. I've seen reports about even Giannis for this team.
Yeah.
What's the answer? Do they go all in for a star? Do they kind of just stay around the margins, be that number three, number four team in the West, but with a big gap with OKC and San Antonio? Or like what do you do with Anthony Edwards? Like he is a top five guard in the league. Like you gotta kind of go all in on his window. So like what do you do there?
My first thought is the fact that like these next couple of years is Wemby's like ascension to the top of the mountain makes
Mhm.
me feel like Giannis's value is just going up because Giannis is one guy that can actually sit there and match up with him and like is the perfect guy to guard a guy like Wemby. Um, I don't know how or what that trade would look like if they wanted to get Giannis. Um, but if you don't, it kind of feels like you will be that third fiddle team in the West because this is going to be a Spurs Thunder thing for the next couple years at least, barring injury. And
Yeah.
Randall is just not doing it. I mean, some of the low effort plays that he had to end that series. Um, and I've seen a lot of like Wolves Twitter is just like sick of Julius Randle. And most teams usually 2 or 3 seasons into the Randle experience feel the same way. Um, and and honestly, yeah, I mean, yeah, you probably have to keep Gobert, but especially after the season he had against Jokic, the series he had against Jokic. But seeing him just being played off the floor to the point where like they were trying to play him on the floor when Wemby wasn't on the floor. But Wemby's the future. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think they want. I think they're gonna keep. I don't know what they get for Gobert, but I also don't know what they get for Randall at this point because we kind of know like Randall is who he is, and I feel like you're only. It's like the Jamal Nuggets situation where like I mean Jamal is significantly better, but like there's no trade the Nuggets can make where they get a better player than Jamal Murray. And I feel like the Timberwolves are in that situation with Julius Randle. Maybe you get a couple good role players. Like imagine like a couple of Dante DiVincenzo level role players. Maybe that's what you need next Ant. You don't need a second star. I feel like you do need a second star next Ant. Like I don't think it can be Ant and then like a bunch of like Ayo DeSumo level players. But I don't know that you're getting someone better than Randall. So it's very hard. Like I don't know. I literally have no idea what they can do go from here. It feels like they're stuck in this like middle tier playoff contender. Like maybe they can be a three seed at best if the Nuggets continue to kind of free fall the way they have the last few seasons. But I just don't see what they can do to match up against the Spurs or the Thunder. Like it's unless they do it organically or hit on some crazy 28th pick or whatever the fuck draft pick they have this year. I don't know what they're supposed to do.
I,
Randall is definitely not like that. This iteration is not winning shit though. With Randall on the team.
Somebody floated a Chicago move for Randall for some combo of Jalen Smith, Trey Jones, and Isaac Okoro.
There you go. It's that kind of
Jesus
garbage like
Christ.
fucking package right there. It's a bunch of average to below average role players who like
Yeah.
are maybe like eighth men on playoff teams. Like, come on, man.
You could try to trade him for MPJ, attach a pick or something.
That would be
Interesting.
great. I don't know why. I mean, it depends what the pick is going to be, but why would the Nets do that? Like, there's no way they can't get something better for MPJ. Like, they can definitely get two first rounders that are
That's
better
true.
than whatever the Wolves are offering.
Yeah.
So it's hard. No one wants Rand. Who like you have to attach some really good picks to him to get rid of him. And even then you might not still get a great player. Like
They only have one first round pick available 2033 and two pick swaps in 2028 and 2033.
2033 Ant's gonna be what, like 35?
Yeah. Wait, 35.
No, 33, 30, like
34, I think. Yeah.
oh he's our age, right? No, he's like 1 year older than us. 2 years.
25, I think 26.
He's yeah, he's 1 year older than us. So
He's
yeah, like
24 years old.
25 probably. 20, he's gonna be
Okay.
25, right? Yeah.
Damn.
2020 draft was 1 year older than us. 2021
Yeah,
was
he's
on.
24 years old. That's incredible. I thought he was like 25, 26.
Yeah, but I know it's not really a great analysis for me. I just don't see what I don't know what they're supposed to do. Io, I think, is a big question mark. It seemed like Io like he liked it on the Wolves, but he also wants to get paid this offseason. He made that very clear in his post yeah, this
I
presser.
think if you can attach like Randall and Nas and take get Giannis, like you absolutely do that. And like I love Nas, but like and he's a very unique player and his
Yeah, there's no way there's not a better package out there for you, honest though, right? Because the Bucks wouldn't want to win right now. They would want just a bunch of picks and some garbage salary. Like Isaiah Hartenstein and a bunch of picks is way better package. Than Isaiah Hartenstein, like Case and Wallace. There's no way you probably don't have to give up Jada. It's just those two, and then like Lou Dort or some shit and like some picks way better than that package.
I've seen the Ja Morant idea go floated out there. They need a guard.
Oh, that would be fun. That would
Wow.
be fun.
Yeah.
But again. Yeah, and Ja would actually not. Yeah, I think you're right. Ja's value is garbage. So shit.
Julius has better value than Chai.
Yeah, I was thinking, I was like,
Pretty,
wow, but Julius
yeah,
Randle
pretty
has no value,
confident.
but he also has no value. So I don't know. That's crazy. How much
Julius is
money
at least not on a bad contract. It's like contracts like 30 million a year for the next couple of years. Not terrible.
You trade Jaden McDaniels and Nas Reed and like X for Giannis.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. If you could get Giannis, get Giannis. Like if you get Giannis without Anthony Edwards in the trade, obviously you do. I think you 100% do it.
But it's
Because
really just Ant and Giannis and no one else. And Gobert, I guess. But then
and
you
Giannis
go, maybe you could
garbage.
trade Gobert and just go hope Baron J's the next guy.
Deadass. I think it's fine. I think because you have to change up something, right? And if you already barely have picks, you might as well trade whatever the fuck you do have and get Giannis. Because
Yeah, I
again,
agree.
team is not winning anything. Like this is the
Yeah.
furthest they're gonna go as the conference finals. I don't think they can match up against the Spurs or the Thunder. Like it'll be a competitive series, but like it was the last couple years. But like, come on, be for real. Unless there's some
That
crazy.
wasn't really even a competitive series, if
Yeah,
we're
and the
being honest.
Warriors would have won last year, in my opinion, even though I disagree. It's like, I don't know. I just don't. I don't see it with this team. The ceiling is just not that high. Yeah.
And Goba's a year older. Like
Yeah, Gobert is like 2 years from
Yeah.
now. Gobert is gonna be
Honest,
like a bench player.
this feels hard to say because they made it twice, but it's like they kind of had like a Hawks Blazers run to the
Fact.
conference finals two
You are
years in a row,
100% correct. Yes.
right? Like I mean, obviously the Nuggets win was like an incredible win, but
Two
like
Nuggets wins
it
now.
reminds me kind of the Hawks Sixers win when they get to that third round because of just like an incredible upset and obviously a really good matchup with the team. That kind of just gives it away, like a 20-point game win, choke in game seven. That's yeah. But and then the next year with stuff being out,
I think
pretty
give them
crazy.
more credit just because they beat the Nuggets this year. That was pretty
No,
insane.
they're a great team.
No
I
one
will,
expected that. That
but at
was
the
crazy.
same time, they're not a contender. They've never been a
Yeah.
contender. They've lost in five in both those
I
series.
feel like the
So
Raptors, maybe like
that's a
the
good comparison. Yeah.
2018, like that
And it
2015 to
sucks because Ant's
2018.
way better than anyone on any of those
Oh yeah.
teams, right? Like he's a top maybe seven player, top six player.
Yeah. 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 Um, tough man.
That Dillingham trade really kind of screwed him. Just so many assets to get a guy who you trade away for basically nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, they got Io though.
Yeah, true.
That was like pretty big for like I mean that was the Dillingham trade, right?
Yeah,
For
but I
them.
think they had to attach picks to it,
Yeah,
like
if you lose
one
Io, that's kind of a waste because
second round picks to
so
them.
good
Yeah,
for them. That was bad. Okay.
exactly.
Anything else you guys want to talk about? Or you want to do quick news and then kind of wrap it up?
Yeah, let's do it.
Thinking. Okay, we can start off with Jason Kidd getting fired today, or like it's a mutual parting of ways. Clearly, like we talked about it earlier when Masai got hired, there wasn't. It seemed like there's some awkwardness between him and Jason Kidd in terms of like the future of the team. And we know that Masai has like he has a certain way of doing things, I guess, and Jason Kidd. It clearly didn't mesh well. Jason Kidd had 4 years, $40 million left in his contract, and they just dipped. But Jason Kidd is a drunk driver, so we don't fuck with him on this podcast.
No, we don't.
And I don't know if he was also like a sexual abuser, but you know, looking like that, I wouldn't be surprised.
He
Anyway,
pled guilty on a domestic
yeah,
charge.
yeah, see, told you. Yeah, I think that's. Do you guys have any analysis on this? I'm not really sure. The Mavs looking for like a young developmental coach. I was thinking Kenny Atkinson, funnily enough. Um,
Take him, please. Have him.
I'm not
Can
sure
he
if we're
fire him after getting to the conference finals?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I mean, 20, yeah, the 20-point game. That's crazy.
Man, they fired Dwayne Casey after he freaking won Coach of the Year, bro. It's
Coach of the year is different than like
yeah, but that
actual
happens
playoff
after you're
results.
like good. Yeah.
The thing is,
Has a coach gotten fired after getting to the conference finals? That feels really rare.
Thibodeau last year.
Oh, true.
Yeah,
That's
Wow, that was fast.
yeah.
that's so true.
Let's do it
Um,
again. Let's do it again. Um,
Even
yeah,
Udoka,
I
maybe?
was that was weird though, a weird situation.
What when they almost came back from down 3-0? Was
Yeah,
that
no,
that
I thought
Zula the
no,
coach at
I
that point?
he was
that
like
was
he was sleeping with one of the
yeah, it
staff.
was
Oh right, yeah, I
yeah,
totally
that's why he
forgot that
left.
happened. Oh my God, yeah. I
I think
think
it
it
was
was
after the finals. That's why it was so shocking. It was after 2022.
really is that
Well,
man.
I think for the kid firing, it's pretty clear. Like Masai just being like, bro, anybody who was associated with this dumbass trade has to go because like
Yeah.
clearly something's not right in the head, and like that's smart because I mean, and also it seems like kid is just like isn't that likable. I
Yeah.
feel like that's a pretty clear consensus off Twitter and off what people say about him. Um, Clearly he's very good at X's and O's and like he was vital to like the Lakers championship and stuff like that. And he knows basketball. Um, but I don't think he's the right guy to be around somebody like Cooper Flag and like a young ascending team.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or women.
I
Yeah.
think he's definitely going to be a head coach candidate though. Like he definitely seems like the guy a contending team's like looking for to be.
You think the Blazers will the Blazers owner will pay
And no, dude, he's going to ask way too much money.
Pistons, after they fire Bickerstaff at some point.
Maybe.
Michael Carter
You think
Williams,
there's a
Cunningham, like kind of the same player, no?
yeah.
Yeah.
What about maybe the Magic? I don't know.
Some people said that he wants to go into front office work.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah. He's clearly
Again,
a
if he was
smart.
involved in the Luca trade, I don't know if that's a
Was he actually involved in that? I thought he seemed as surprised about it.
he was
it seemed
definitely,
like yeah, it
yeah.
seemed like he was definitely involved and he was like with Nico Harrison in that
And that's fucking
first press
ridiculous. He'll
conference.
never
Like,
have a job again if that's the case.
well,
Um, any other news? We talked. You guys talked about Jamal Mosley's
We talked about.
party, right? And you guys, I think I talked about it on the chat today. You don't think JB Bickerstaff's getting fired after this season, despite the fact that they potentially could have lost to the Magic.
I
No.
mean, yeah, I think news like Shea winning MVP, that's probably something.
Oh, right, yeah.
Back to back.
Well
Again,
deserved.
it was kind of expected, so not crazy. And then Wemby had his insane game, so like,
That, yeah.
Jokic
yeah,
had more votes than Wemby, which was
that
interesting.
that part is surprising.
Yeah. Is Wemby the second best player in the NBA then, or first? Like he's better than Jokic? Is that like a thing now?
I think
Yeah,
he's
I
the
think so.
best.
People are saying it
I think
pretty
he's the best.
confidently.
He's the best.
Wow.
Impacts the game just too much on both ends, man. Like
Exactly.
you know where he is at all times on every single play. As great as Shea is, and his over the top shot making is what separates him from Wemby in fourth quarters. But dude, like this guy is unbelievable and like unguardable.
You know what's
Yeah,
crazy?
I
Like,
think it's
yeah.
not even the offense for me. It's just he's the best defender, maybe of the modern NBA history in his third year. And like that, along with a guy who could drop 40 and has insane like roll gravity, can you throw it up to him? Like it's just a combination of things you can't. It's fucking unfair. Sadly, like I'm not a fan of the guy because I'm a Thunder fan, but it sucks to not be a fan of the guy because he's just gonna rule the NBA for the next 20 years. Like if he's healthy, I don't see a reason he's not the GOAT, like legitimately.
Yeah,
I,
and it's also kind of crazy that like I feel like I'm seeing his impact more against the Thunder than I have in any other
Dude,
series.
his first playoff game against the best defense in the league, he dropped 42, 22, hit
It
a
was
game winner from 33, 31 feet.
great against the best fucking team in the league.
Yeah.
It wasn't this dominant in the previous series, which is
No.
wild to me.
I do wonder like I feel like I really like his attitude and like how much he
Yeah.
cares. That stuff is cool. Um, I do wonder how soon, whenever players become great, they get hated super quickly. He's already doesn't have that like Steph appeal of like this guy who's like super small doing crazy things. It feels like he's almost overpowered. And I've had conversations with like casual friends that are like, man, like this is OP, like whatever. Like it's crazy that he shoots from such deep range. But I wonder how many years it'll take for like most people to start hating him because I feel like it'll be like
He's
two MVPs in.
I think
Sure.
he's a guy who's like he's completely okay with being a villain arc, which is
Yeah.
another good thing about him. Like he's unstoppable, he knows it. But also like he's likable in his own sense. Like there's some things that annoy me where he's like, we're the ethical team. Like he thinks a little too high of himself, which is fair. He's the best player in the NBA. But he, like in a sense where he thinks he's like more respectful, like does things a better way. Which again,
Shit, bro. I
basketball is basketball.
don't care. Yeah, let him talk shit. Like it's nice to
I think
see.
he's talking shit, which is completely fine. Like he's better than everyone. He's humble for the most part as well. And he's like real when you talk, like listen to his interviews. Like he's very open and honest.
The biggest thing I like about him. It's like he's saying what he thinks. He
Yeah.
like that's how he thinks. He thinks he's better. That's great that you're saying it. You're not fake. You're not
Yeah.
posting weird cryptic things. Like you're just saying it. And like it feels like he like this sounds like fucked up to say, but it feels like he does things the right way. Like he just you want to root for someone who like goes and trains with monks and works hard in the off season with Kevin
See,
Garnett.
this is what I'm saying. Like you feel like you want to root for him right now.
Yeah, it's true. I agree.
When he's got two chips going on three, and like people are saying he's better than Steph, you're gonna be like, whoa.
Oh no,
Dude,
I agree.
I
I'm
already
already
hate
like
him. I already hate him.
Like it's of course I hate every good player. Like I love hating people, but at the same time, I can't deny LeBron is amazing. I
Yeah.
can't deny that Wemby's amazing. I can't deny it. Like it's amazing to watch, and I'll root on their downfalls, but I have to acknowledge that they're good,
Yeah.
right? And like it's exciting. It's like, dude, I was watching the game today, and I was just yelling to my grandma and mom, like, "Are you watching? This is crazy!" And again, it was
Every
in the third
person,
quarter.
like every player, a person I talk to the NBA about, like this is one of the guys you bring up
Yeah, I
because he's
called like.
just,
And I just like Samir doesn't even watch basketball, and he was at dinner with his family. I just called him randomly. I was like, dude, this is so random, but like we're cooked. Like
yeah.
Steph is might not be a top 10 player anymore all time if this guy
Oh,
enters in top 10. Like,
don't.
I mean, no, like
Dude, coming
genuinely,
into the
this is
season, I was like,
crazy.
OKC is a dynasty. We're gonna repeat. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, you have competition, but it's like the Nuggets, a team that's established, that's done it. And then this dude in his third season with all of these random like rookies and like again, Fox is the only established player there. Stephon
And he's
Castle,
not
you
even
didn't know
good.
he was this good. Like
Yeah.
everyone just got better on the team, but Wemby's just this insane player who changes the game. His impact is undeniable. Yeah, I think he's obviously the face of the league. because people want to see him play at the same time. It's like, what amazing thing is he going to do next? You see the highlight
Literally
reel
gonna
from
do something.
that game. It's like put back dunk. He has this insane thing where he could just like grab an offensive
He just
rebound, do some
jump
weird shit with his hands, and it just goes back in. Like, what the fuck do
So
you do against that? It's
the
insane.
rebound, like a defensive rebound to get some such cool ways. He
Yeah.
just reaches and just
He
grabs it
posters the posters are so normal because obviously he's gonna poster him because he's 7'6",
with
but it's
no
just he
jump.
posters every other play too when he's like these putback dunks.
So, Sai, last time in the last podcast, we talked about how like Presti doesn't really want to trade his picks and he likes to like he has his whole system worked out, right? Do you think that just seeing how dominant Wemby is and how like if anybody really had to bet at this point, the real dynasty is looking like it's about to be Wemby and not OKC. Now I'm looking at Preston, I'm like, you can make things happen here and you can build an actual like OP team. Like, instead of this whole like recycle,
Wemby.
huh? Maybe you do swing for Giannis, like
I just don't think Giannis is
okay,
in the
maybe not
DNA.
Giannis, but
No.
like, do you not think there's some type of Presti's look around like, wait, hold up, like we might need to change some things up here and use some of these picks
Yeah.
instead of just recycling them.
No, I think he's definitely like Presti's gonna get aggressive, but at the same time, I don't see it in a we go for the superstar way. Because who's gonna stop Wemby, right? You just need to hope you have it the deepest team. Like that's I think what Presti's angle is more than anything, and he'll trade Case and Wallace for fucking Drew Holiday or like an upgraded version of each of these guys, Derek White or something like that. Like I don't know, but there's players he'll just upgrade on the margins, like getting Alex Caruso, getting Isaiah Hartenstein. I think that's the move, and then our draft picks like Sorber, Topic, like just trade those guys away, get a win not. Like I feel like that's maybe the angle he'll go for stopping Wemby, but at the same time, like what can you do? You know what I mean?
I think as usual, we're overreacting just a little bit. Like if
Maybe.
and we just talked about the fact that we thought the Thunder being so young, like oh, like people didn't expect Thunder to win last year because it would just be too fast. Like it's too early. They
Ah,
just made the playoffs for the first time, and now they're just going to the championship the following year. Like it's not going to
the
happen.
Spurs didn't even
Like
make the playoffs, though.
I
He's
get it,
breaking
I
all the
get it,
rules.
but I'm just saying that look how fast things are changing. You're already contemplating your fucking life. You're already like, oh my God, we're never gonna win again. This is impossible. Like next year, there'll be something new. There'll be a new flaw with the Spurs. There'll be something that happens. There's gonna be a new guy in this draft. Who knows? Maybe Darren Peterson's the next Michael Jordan. We don't fucking know what's gonna happen. Like right now, it looks scary though. It does. Like Wemby is gonna be a perennial like defensive player of the year and MVP candidate. We know that. That's established. When Luca was in his second year in the league. He was taking the fucking Kawhi and Paul George Spurs, Clippers to 7, hitting crazy
First
shots.
round. This is the Western Conference Finals with one of the best teams of all time. There
Okay,
are levels. This is insane, dude.
I understand. I do agree, and we
And
just
those
don't know what's
Clippers
gonna
blew
happen.
a 3-1 lead the next round. Anyways,
Yeah, no, they did. But I just think it's like can we just keep a level head here. But the defense, one thing is the
it's
defense
just
is
like
crazy.
if
The
you
defense
do
is
keep
never
a
gonna get
level,
better.
you might be behind with this thing. Is the problem with Wemby, and that's how good he is.
There will be flaws, and people will find
I
flaws in
agree.
the offensive game. Defensively, again,
I
sure,
am
it's kind
begging
of
for
hard.
those flaws to come out as soon as possible.
It will happen. It's gonna happen. Okay. People like these guys are not stupid. No, that's why it's so hard to be like again in 2023, we were like, how the fuck is anyone gonna stop Jokic? Every time a new champion comes, we are like, they're gonna
That's
win
fair.
again next year. They're always the favorites to win the next year. And then random shit happens. That's why Thunder were the first champion in like 5 years to even make it to the conference finals again. Right? There's a reason for that. So I think we should like it is crazy, but we should relax. Something new will happen next year, I'm sure.
I'm not
Okay.
even going about the Spurs winning. Like, okay, yeah, that's fair. I might have overreacted. They're going to be a
I get
dynasty
Yeah.
immediately. I think it's more this guy is the best player in the NBA and could have the reign on that title for the next 15 years. Like, I think that's legit. Maybe not 15, but like next 10 years. That's
Yeah.
legitimately possible. He's 22 years old
Yeah, that's fair.
and he's already like right there. I don't think the defense is ever going to really slip unless he gets hurt.
Yeah,
And the
that's
defense is maybe like both sides of the ball, he might be the best player like on one side of the ball that we've seen ever since maybe like Michael Jordan, like legitimately. Like his defensive impact is
more than Jordan, bro. He's a
maybe,
big,
yeah.
it's way more than Jordan could ever. Like guards, you just can't have the same impact as you can as a big. And on top of that, like I know we always talk about defense 50% of the ball, but no one actually believes that shit. Wemby's the first person. His defense is so fucking profoundly impactful that
Yeah.
you do actually say it is 50% of the game. And he
Yeah.
is like that is like an elite defender, maybe you turn like you like. hit like 45% of that 50% of defense. He is hitting at like 100% of that. Like I don't know where I'm going with this, but he is
No, I
very,
agree.
very clearly
Because
like
he's
going
involved in every play. Like
put
a normal defensive player, a Kawhi Leonard, you can kind of like a Sar Thompson, just pass away from him.
yeah.
Like they said, you can't do that with Wemby because he's in the middle of the paint. He is did completely diminishing the value of the most impactful shot in the game, and you
In a
can't
couple
stop
years, we
that.
could see a new demigod too. You know, there'll be guys like Wemby that are coming along that are 7'5", seven
That's fucking
four.
terrifying.
Yeah, these guys are
Basketball's
going.
over, dude.
The NBA is sizing up. Like that's just a
Yeah,
fact. Small guards are like damn
Uh,
near extinct.
Steph is not going to be a top 10 player anymore.
Nah.
Ever.
I mean,
No.
honestly, in 100 years, he probably won't, but neither will LeBron, honestly, in 100 years. So
Facts.
top 10? That's crazy.
who knows, man? Who knows?
True.
Also, to these injuries, man, like there's so many soft tissue injuries with how much these guys are moving around the court.
Yeah.
Never know. Like,
Hey, I
I
didn't
like
want
how we
to say
started
that
this with
part. I
Shea
was
winning
scared. I
back-to-back
didn't want to say the
MVP.
injury thing, but that's obviously a concern. Like, who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah,
But
for sure.
hopefully, no injuries. We don't wish injuries upon these guys.
no, we do not.
Yeah. Shout out Shea, back-to-back MVP.
Good job, Shay. Stop it up.
Yeah. Let's hope he pulls this off.
Yep.
It is an amazing series, though. Like, it's going to be a classic, all-time classic for sure.
Yeah, I mean, first matchup with two teams with 62 wins since like the 98 finals.
Yep, Jazz
Pretty
Bull.
incredible.
And before that, again, I think it was like Jazz. Like,
And this is the parity era. These are like insane super teams.
this is
And they're
awesome.
coming at these games are coming at us every other fucking day.
Yeah.
No time to breathe.
Must see TV.
Living in the ice bats, I'm sure. Like, this is crazy. Yeah. Okay. I think we can wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks so much for listening to the podcast. We'll be back at you guys soon in a couple of days, I think. Maybe after like the game fours or game threes. But probably game fours of these series. Yeah, follow us on all socials at Change Your Pace Pod on Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, and send us an email at Gmail, changepacepod@gmail.com. All right, thanks so much.